Hi there, Ron Shera here for Star Bank. If you're putting your money into mega banks down the street, who knows where that money's being used? Bank locally. Keep your money local with a community bank that actually cares about you, your family, your business, and your goals. Check out the bank we use at Minnesota Bound. Try Minnesota's own Star Bank. You can find them online at starbank.net. When you call Star Bank, you actually hear a real living person answering the phone. Star Bank has 10 convenient locations around Minnesota to serve you and all the mobile banking products that you need to manage your money. Check out all that Star Bank has to offer at starbank.net.
Well, if you could see the view I've got, you might be just a little bit jealous. A cold Canadian morning. I'm sitting up here in far northwest Ontario. The sun is just peeking above the trees, and the snow here on Lake of the Woods is about as epic as you will ever see. The pines are coated in like 2 feet of snow. The lake is fresh powder. I can see one little cabin over here across the bay with just one little string of smoke curling out of the chimney, and it is, in Canadian talk, like 37 below zero, something like that. And sitting across from me is my good friend Dustin Brown, who is proprietor of one of the most iconic lodges in all of Canada. It's called Totem Resorts, and Totem is made up of 3 very special places. You've got Totem Lodge, you've got Yellowbird Lodge together here on land, and then you go 27 miles out through the islands on Lake of the Woods, and you find a little place tucked away, not so little actually, called Wiley Point. And Dustin, it's your job to manage all this. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, so let's do the translation here. It's like 37 below Celsius, which in Fahrenheit is what? Cold.
Cold. Really, really cold.
And honestly, you and I are the only people around, which is why we've come north for the Minnesota Bound podcast, the stories behind the stories. You are sitting on just a unbelievable resource here. During the summer, you guys are so busy. There are boats coming and going. There are, families coming and going, anglers coming and going between the 3 lodges. But during the winter, it just seems like things are so quiet here. What gives?
Well, that's kind of the beauty of what we're trying to create out here. This is our third winter entering, third year entering the winter season. We're primarily a summer fishing resort. We just got into the whole ice fishing thing. We're super excited about it, but Sioux Narrows has never been really known as a winter town. What we're trying to create here is we see what the U.S. side of Lake of the Woods is doing, and we're really trying to bring that over to the Canadian side, but not in that extent. We're still a smaller place. We're very quiet here in the wintertime. But we're really trying to grow the winter tourism in the Sioux Narrows, Nestor Falls area. As you've seen over the last couple of days, we went, miles and miles down the lake, and you didn't see another person out there anywhere. Like, we had the whole Canadian side of Lake of the Woods to ourselves. So that's what we're really trying to build over here on the Canadian side. We're the only destination here at Yellowbird Lodge that's offering what we offer. Full service bar, restaurant, accommodations, premium fuel. We're starting to build day huts that we have out there that you can take a snowmobile tour. You can drive one of our ice roads right up to a day hut and drop a line and go fishing for the day. So we're just really trying to see this part of Lake of the Woods turn into a 4-season destination instead of just being a summer destination. We're really trying to grow the winter business, and that's really what we're trying to do over here now. It's super exciting.
Yeah, I think I was a little blown away, right? We talked about putting together a winter trip here to do a couple of things. Get out on the lake, see what the snowmobiling is like. get out on the lake, see what the walleye fishing is like. Lake trout fishing, which is a great resource you guys have here. And I thought it'd be fairly quiet, but I figured there'd be people around. But literally, we took the sleds out that first morning in the snowstorm, and there wasn't a soul. There was nobody. We were all alone.
That's right. Yeah.
Speaking of snowstorms, just how big a storm?
It was a pretty big storm we went out in. It was a complete whiteout. But day one when you guys arrived and you guys wanted to get out there, we did it. But the visibility was very, very little that day. We were still able to make it a few miles down the lake and drop a line for some walleyes and have some success, which is nice. You don't have to go very far from the lodge, so even on the the windiest, coldest days, you don't have to go far at all.
Well, so that's funny, right? When so many people fish, it's got to go to the other end of the lake, which here is a big deal considering this lake is like 100 miles long and 14,000 islands.
Yep.
But that's sort of the point, right? You can just sneak out on the ice road right out front of the lodges, and there are dozens of spots to catch fish. And it's not like those sort of lakes in the world where you're going to go out and you're going to sit and you might be lucky to get one or two walleyes, in a day.
Mm-hmm.
You decide how many you want to catch, and you decide how many places you want to go and try to catch them. It's endless.
Well, yeah, that's the beauty of being on the Canadian side of Lake of the Woods, especially in Student Arrows, because we have so many different species of fish you can target in a day. I mean, you can start off your morning and go for walleye, and then you can jump into a portage lake and go to a back portage lake that you can normally only fly into in the summer and go target some crappies or some northern. We're even catching bass on this end of the lake as well too. And then if you want to jump over in a whitefish bay, which is about 15 minutes from us, you can target world-class lake trout. So this is really the mecca for all the different species of fish Lake of the Woods has to offer, and you can target them all in a day if you really wanted to.
So I'm going to call you a liar because it was only like 7 minutes to the lake trout spot.
That's right.
and we set up in like 2 feet of fresh powder, bluebird sky, just a perfect day. It was funny. We set up in like 50 feet of water where we thought the fish might be, and there were fish all over the place. And we got into the whiteys right away. You go, okay, not quite what we want. So we slide into 30 feet, just a little bit closer to shore, and all of a sudden we've got lake trout.
Yeah. That's the beauty of being here. It's super close. You've stayed at our Wiley Point Lodge in the summer, and that's kind of the same thing that we offer over there. Is you're so close to all the fishing spots being over at the Wiley Point Lodge location. Well, we're now doing that with ice fishing at the Yellowbird Lodge location on the east end of Lake of the Woods. You're only 10-15 minutes from all the best fishing spots. So that's really the beauty of it.
Let's go back in time a little bit. For so many people, what your family has put together here is such a destination. But you grew up with this. I mean, what are your memories of all this as a little kid growing up in the woods?
My memories are it's pretty cool because I grew up, going to shore lunches with my dad and seeing customers, and I was always there when he was walking around the dining rooms at nighttime and saying hello to everybody. And now I actually get to do that with my son. My son's 5 years old, and he's coming out on shore lunches, and he's coming out ice fishing with me, and he's doing a lot of the same things that I got to do growing up. I was actually born and raised on an island right in front of Yellowbird. So even during the off seasons, like during freeze up and thaw, we'd take windjammers to catch the school bus. Like it was a different lifestyle growing up. But it really built me into who I am today. And I grew up around our 4 properties, and now, it's just a blessing to be able to be here every day and still be doing the same job that my dad did, and hopefully pass this on to our kids one day as well, too. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah, and your dad's still around. He's relaxing a little bit. You take on a lot of the stressful work now, but
that's right.
He was a visionary when this all started. I mean, talk about the history. All this wasn't here early in the day, right?
No, No, he's got a vision, all right. Sometimes I wonder how he did it. But so our Yellowbird Lodge location was the third add-on to Totem Resorts. First came Totem Lodge. He acquired that property when he was 25 years old. Built it up to what it is today. And then Wiley Point Lodge came along around 1990. And then around 1999, Yellowbird Lodge was right next to Totem Lodge, went bankrupt, and we ended up acquiring that property. Slowly started adding on, and marketing it. And for a long time, we did more corporate fishing packages here and weddings, conferences. That's kind of what we marketed it towards. But then we slowly started to branch off into the winter side of things as well too, and we're doing a lot more couples and family trips and everything out of Yellowbird now. And it's really starting to grow and pick up. And we're really excited to see where it goes.
The lodge we're sitting in at Yellowbird is just so over the top. I mean, big grand dining room with, the knotty pine furniture, chairs and tables, natural wood walls. You walk out of the dining room into the main lodge area, and you've got the giant fireplace with the stone hearth. And as you look towards the lake, it's just all glass. You just have this view of the world. And it's just I know you see it every day, right? This is your environment, but the rest of us don't get to see it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. And that's why we're really trying to spread the word and trying to get more and more people to come up and see this and enjoy it. Especially year round. I mean, we did the summer thing for so long, and I just don't understand why this place isn't going all year round. So that's kind of why we started doing it now. And COVID kind of put a little hiccup in things, but I think those days are going to be slowly behind us soon enough. And we're just really excited to start welcoming more people up from the U.S. and coming to see this and experience it for themselves, because we're only, 6.5, 7 hours from Minneapolis.
Right.
10, 12 hours from most places in Illinois. Like it's a pretty close drive for a lot of people. And if you've never experienced Lake of the Woods in the winter, you really got to come and see it, because it's something special.
Oh, it's special. All right. We're going to get to a few more stories, because the unexpected, as you well know now, always happens when a TV camera shows up and there are snowmobiles involved. Wink, wink. But the other thing I want to talk about is crossing the border. We'll get to that in just a second. Dustin Brown is my partner in crime today, and we are talking life on Lake of the Woods at 30 below zero. Hey, I'm Bill Shirk, the man about the woods, and you are listening to the Minnesota Bound podcast, the stories behind the stories. We've got so many great sponsors that help us get to you each week. Up first, we want to welcome our newest sponsor, Hewitt Docks.
Hewitt Docks, Lifts, and Pontoon Legs began in a small south-central Minnesota town with a mission to make dock install and removal easier by inventing the Roll-A-Dock. Well, now the company has evolved to provide everything you might need to improve your lake time. In addition to the classic Roll-A-Dock or the new Ultra Dock system, Hewitt offers all-terrain staircases, gangways, canopies, and lifts, along with any accessory you might need. Celebrate 50 years of business with us. Go to HewittRad.com to enter for a chance to win a free dock and monthly prizes. Hewitt Docks, Lifts, and Pontoon Legs. Work hard, play harder. You deserve a Hewitt.
I also want to give a shout out to Thousand Hills Lifetime Grazed Beef. Great friends of ours. I make a career talking about clean water, native habitat, and the best environmental practices. That is exactly why we love partnering with Thousand Hills Lifetime Grazed Beef. It is locally raised beef done differently. Let me explain. You see, Thousand Hills uses what is called regenerative agriculture to raise their cattle. Those beef cows, they graze in these fields of wild grasses. And they move between the lots of different fields of grass. It is a sustainable ecosystem free of synthetic fertilizers and chemicals. It's a system of agriculture that promotes clean water, natural grasses, and the best beef you've tasted. Believe me. Of course, the Shirks, my wife and 2 sons, we love grilling. We love doing meat on the smoker, and we do it all year long. And now we cook with Thousand Hills Lifetime Grazed Beef. Yes, the Shirk boys so look forward to those meals. Beef raised the right way. Check out Thousand Hills Lifetime Grazed Beef to understand their regenerative agricultural practices and fall in love with Thousand Hills. Okay, Dustin Brown and I are sitting here, couple cups of hot coffee, looking out. The sun's up over the trees, kind of coming up. The lake is full of powder. So I want to talk a little bit about our adventure yesterday. So about 8 in the morning, we fire up the snowmobiles, put a few ice fishing shacks on the back, and head east about 10 minutes. Lake trout. Why are lake trout so dang fun to chase? It's almost like religion in this part of the world.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, they're as you've seen yesterday, they're a tricky fish to catch. When you get on them, you really get on them. We were having a lot of fun with them yesterday. I mean, like, it was, especially in our tent, we were running the Panoptics live, and we could really see those things moving around down there, and having them chase you up to the top of the hole. They really put up a good fight. One of the guys we brought along, Dave Bonke, as you've seen, he had some success catching quite a few of them yesterday, and that was exciting for him as well too. But they're tricky fish to catch. But we didn't even venture off deep into the Whitefish Bay area, which is kind of the mecca on Lake of the Woods for trout fishing. We just kind of got into the mouth of it. But you could see, even just being in the mouth, having that much action, they're just such a blast to catch.
Yeah, they're just special fish. They're strong. They're beautiful. The regs, depending on where you are different, right? Some places you don't use live bait, barbless hooks, things like that. So you need to pay a little bit of attention to the regulations. But other than that, it's if you've got your Ontario fishing license, you go and you just catch them.
Just catch them, yeah. And the nice thing, too, about the whole Whitefish Bay, we were actually in Regina Bay yesterday fishing. The water's just crystal clear. So, I mean, on a hot summer day, you can see down forever, and that's kind of what the fish in that area really like, and that's what that part of Lake of the Woods is known for. So that is what really helps produce some of the biggest lake trout you're going to find on Lake of the Woods, hands down.
Yeah, and to have that resource so close, right? It's
amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, it really is.
Crossing the border. I know with COVID and all of that, it's no secret. Northwest Ontario has struggled mightily. Things got shut down, not just you guys, but everyone. It has been a struggle because so much of your business comes from the U.S. side. But I can tell you, we have now crossed a couple of times since the border opened back up. And people on the Canadian side, as you drive into the country, they are so excited to see guests coming back in. The process is just not nearly as complex or difficult as I think some make it out to be.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's the biggest question we have when people are calling into our offices about, potential reservations is, how do I get into Canada? How do I get into Canada? And I've crossed, multiple times myself, so I can give you personal experiences. And it's not as hard as a lot of people think. You definitely have to make sure your ducks are in a row. You have to have the ArriveCan app on your phone, create an account on there, make sure you have that all set up, have your passport loaded on there. They do require a negative PCR test before crossing the border 72 hours prior. Very easy to get. You can get one for free at a lot of places. I know Walgreens and CVS, that's kind of where we always go. But in the event of that you forget and you need to get one along the way, there's a testing site right at the border. And you can get that there in about a half hour, 40 minutes. But getting across is pretty easy, guys. And the Canadians are definitely excited to see the Americans come back, especially us, because our business is 80% U.S. clientele. So we were one of the hardest hit during COVID. So, we're definitely excited to welcome back our U.S. friends. If there's any chance you guys can get to Canada this summer and come support a lodge, not even ours, just anywhere, it's greatly appreciated by all Canadians, because we were definitely hardest hit impacted by this COVID restrictions when everything kind of came down. So we definitely appreciate you guys coming and visiting us these last couple of days. It's been a real treat to get out there and do some fishing with you. And I don't get out too much, so this is nice for me to get on the lake as well too. So come back anytime, guys.
So we're going to get to your snowmobile antics. Give me 30 seconds, but I want to go back to the Can app and crossing.
Yep.
Right. What you described even sounds like a fair amount of work, but literally you take 5 minutes, you download the app on the phone, you spend, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes putting your information in, take a picture of your passport. It's in there.
Yep.
And then you literally drive through at the window of the local pharmacy. They do the test, which is not a big deal. It's not invasive. It's just a little swab, and then you get your results.
Yep.
And the way that works is when you show up to cross, the folks at the border, they actually know you're coming, right? Because you've got your window of time when you're going to be there. And so they can see all your paperwork on the computer, and they say, oh, yep, where are you going to be? The standard questions. Do you have bait? Bringing anything in? You're going to leave, all that. And then they say, do you have your negative test? You show them a piece of paper that says negative test, and they say, welcome to Canada. Go have fun. It just is not a big deal. And I've heard stories of people who are not coming because they're worried by that process, and it's insane to me. It is no different than having to stop by the store to pick up an extra fishing rod or something like that to get ready for your trip. It's just not a big deal. So I hope people don't stay away for that reason. It is a non-issue. And what you get here, and I'm biased, right? But what you get from the experience of coming on a trip like this, I wouldn't care if the process took 6 days. I'd still do it, All right, let's get to the fun stuff. So this snowstorm we were talking about, this wasn't a 4-inch snowfall.
No.
I guess I didn't pay attention the first day. I knew it was snowing. I knew we were getting a fair amount of snow, but it kind of hit me yesterday when we hit some of those powder areas. I don't know what you're used to when you're riding your sled and you're in fresh snow, but conditions were epic.
Yeah, that was the equivalent to a heavy rainstorm on a summer day. We got a ton of snow. I mean, like you said yesterday, some of the banks, like on the edges of the tree lines, there's probably 3.5 feet of just fresh powder. It was just amazing. Even on the main lake, I mean, full of. I had to take the trailer off and go play in that powder a little bit. It was such a blast.
So I'm going to make everyone wait for the television stories, but I will paint a little picture. You were like a little kid. You're zigzagging and powder that's going up over the windshield. The drone is above you. Just crystal clear, sunny, deep snow, and we just watched you roll around like a little kid.
Yeah, it was a blast. Unfortunately, it was the end of the day, and I'm going to blame it on I was super, super tired. But I had a couple spills on camera there, so you guys will have to tune into that episode to see that part. But it's just amazing. Even if you're not into the whole ice fishing thing and you guys want to just come up and try snowmobiling, this is snowmobiling heaven out here. Just miles and miles of endless groomed trails right up to our front doors. You got the entire Lake of the Woods to go play. I mean, a lot of times I go driving out just in the middle of nowhere on the lake, and I don't see another track for hours. You just have this whole thing to yourself. It's so pristine and gorgeous, and it's just so much fun for riding out there. And you guys would have a blast, even, just coming up and doing a sled trip to this location.
And I want to clarify that when you say you have it to yourself, we did not pass a single other person yesterday. All day long. We left at 8 a.m. We came back at whatever it was, 4:45 at dark. Not a single person.
No.
The groomed trails, yes, they're staked for the snowmobiles, but you're allowed to wander, right? You're allowed to just get on the lake and go out in that fresh snow.
Yep, anywhere you want. Some people in the past have been afraid of ice conditions, and at this time of the year, guys, once you get into January, February, the ice is pretty solidly froze over. There's not a whole lot of danger out there. We've got really, really well marked trails, but yeah, you're definitely welcome to go and just explore. A lot of these sleds these days have GPSs on them now. You can kind of take the guesswork out of it a little bit, but whether you want to just explore the open lake, get into some back trails in the woods, or my most fun part about it is I like to go and explore all the portage lakes that you can normally just fly into in the summertime. And actually, we offer a really cool eco tour here. So if you want to come up with your buddies or your wife or your kids or whatever it is, and you want to get a guide for the day, and you want to go see all the back, the stuff you don't normally see, like, the Aboriginal rock paintings, the gold mines, Lake of the Woods, just the history, the back lakes, things you normally never get the chance to experience. It's a full day tour on snowmobiles, and it is a blast.
All right, I want to talk about that a little bit more because, no pun intended, we found, or you showed us yesterday, an absolute gem. I want to talk about that site in just a second. But first, let's pay a few more bills. You are listening to the Minnesota Bound podcast, the stories behind the stories. My guest today, Dustin Brown of Totem Lodges and fishing buddy and sledding partner. We have all kinds of sponsors who help make this show happen. And one of my favorites is Connecticut. I'm giggling because we took a few pictures drinking Connecticut water yesterday out on the ice at like 10 below zero. Yeah, it's that good. I'll even drink water on the coldest days of the year. The Shirks, we love our Connecticut water. It is no secret. We live out in the country and we have that ironclad well water. That is good news and bad news, right? Well, we treat all of our water with the Connecticut whole home water treatment system. We also use Connecticut's K5 drinking water system. That white buildup you get around the faucets? We get none of that. Our dishes are clean. Katie loves what Connecticut water does for her hair and skin. And the Shirk boys, they drink water out of the K5 tap all day long. Probably our biggest seller. They always go to fill their water bottles before hockey and soccer practice. The best part for me, we've got well water that has no taste and no foul smell. It's gone. Call Connecticut like we did and look forward to clean, safe water. We would also like to thank the Minnesota Propane Association.
The Scherer family enjoys spending a lot of time outside. Hence, we care what goes into our environment. That's why we support propane, the energy for everyone. Did you know that propane produces fewer greenhouse gas emissions than electricity generated on the U.S. grid? Propane's emissions are 43% fewer. That's a lot. Propane is clean, dependable, and affordable. Plus, it's produced right here in the USA. Let's all do our part to reduce emissions from our homes, cabins, and businesses by choosing propane, the right energy right now. To learn more about propane, the energy for everyone, go to propane.com.
Okay, we're talking winter adventures on Lake of the Woods with Dustin Brown of Totem Lodges. Again, fishing buddy. We've never been sledding together, but had just a pile of fun in some of the most epic snow conditions I've ever seen in this part of the world. And at one point yesterday, we're talking about the Eco Tours and all the stuff you show guests when they come and ride the tour. But you said, you want to go see a gold mine? You kind of go, oh, give me a break. Okay, what is there to see? And we pull up on the bank again. The snow is like 3 feet deep, and you just take this
deep
step back into history. What was that little site we saw? I mean, what's the history there?
So that was kind of neat. That was one of the gold mines on the tour. That one's about 10 minutes from the lodge. I would say that's probably like a 1930s, 1940s mine that was set up here in Cineros. They had a bunch of tunnels. They're now sealed up where they were mining for gold. There's an older house that was there that was kind of collapsing in. We went and explored that a little bit. Huge tailings pile on the side of the hill going into the water, which is kind of neat because these days, you can never get away with something like that, putting the tailings into the water like that.
Right,
so just kind of gives you a step back in time to see how things were back then. But yeah, then we explored. We went and ventured up into the woods a little bit. We found one of the old tunnels that were still open. As you can see, during the winter time, I was a little skeptical going in there. I had to throw a couple rocks back there to make sure there's no no bears or wolves back there. But we cleared the tunnel, made sure there's nothing in there, and we got to go in and explore a little bit. And that's just kind of some of the cool history on Lake of the Woods that you get to see. And there's many more like that. You could do a full day of exploring these gold mines. They're just such a blast to go see. And it makes you really wonder how they got there, and just it really takes you a step back in time.
It does. We parked the snowmobiles on the edge of the lake. We're walking through snow, kind of climbing up this little hillside through, snow up to your waist. And all of a sudden there's just this black hole in the rock on the side of the hill. You threw some rocks in to make sure there wasn't a bear in there hibernating. But then you take 5 steps in.
A little scary.
Yeah, you take 5 steps in, and it's almost stereotypical, right? It is exactly what you would picture a little gold mine tunnel to look like. Just big enough where you can kind of creep in and, chip rocked walls and just this tunnel that fades into blackness in eternity. It's just amazing that you can see stuff like that still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty unique. And actually, we go and explore more and more. And the more islands we go on Lake of the Woods, you seem to find more and more as you keep exploring. They seem to be. I think they've kind of tried to mine on every single island at one point just to see what was out there. But there's again, it's a full day tour. You guys can go out and check out all the cool different mines on Lake of the Woods that we know of. Some are big open pits, some are tunnels. It's just a really unique experience. It's a full day thing you can do on Lake of the Woods, and it's again, you're stepping back in time, and you really makes you wonder how they got to some of these places with the tools that they had back then, and how and why. And it's just it's another fun experience on this lake.
And then the sun starts to set, and you turn around and you come back to this just epic lodge. The whirlpool is out front, in the white snow. You've got the huts around it covered in snow that just look ridiculous. You belly up to the bar, have a couple of drinks to warm up your spirits, and the food comes out, and you just roll your eyes because it's also over the top, right? This is supposed to be vacation, but when you leave this lodge, you actually have to go home and take a vacation because the food here is so over the top, right? Prime rib, ribs, chicken, shrimp, just these decadent desserts. You mix that with a couple of the fun cocktails that are local favorites. It's a lot to have to handle as a guest.
Our goal is to try to make you leave at least 10 pounds heavier, is what we always say.
What's that in metric?
Yeah. No, the food, we really do pride ourselves on the food here, but we also have a really good alternative menu. I mean, like, we do just burgers, and we do pizzas, and our chef here has this really cool hot dog menu that he started this year. So we do a lot of, we kind of have everything all over the board, and we really try to offer something for any budget as well too. So, I mean, whatever you guys are looking for, we'll build a package to suit your needs. Even whether you're looking to come as a father-son trip or a couple's getaway or whatever it is, We really tried to custom tailor the package to whatever you guys are looking for.
And then we get through all of that, and it's, I don't know, last night it was 8:10, and photojournalist Cy Dotson and I are just spent. We are so happy. We are so full. We are so fried from just a fun day of activities. We wander upstairs to this massive lodge room. Again, just like the dining room, it's all glass. You're right on top of the lake looking out, and you just fall into a cushy bed and you just go away. And then you wake up and you do it all over again.
Paradise.
Yeah, it's paradise. It just needs a few people around. This is completely untapped. That's the whole reason we're here. And it's been fun to explore with you guys. Obviously, I want people to pay attention because we're going to have television stories on this adventure in Minnesota Bound, also our regional show, Due North Outdoors. And I think people will get such a view of the world. The world is such a, I don't know, busy, political, just stressful place. And you can come to Totem Lodges and it just all goes away. It's like you're the only people on the planet, and that's why we do it. That is why we do it.
Yeah, I think like I was mentioning yesterday, even during COVID and everything, being out here, it doesn't really feel like anything's changed. We still do everything as normal. We get to go hunting, fishing, snowmobiling, boating. If you're looking for a place to kind of escape and get away from all the reality, like you just said, this is it. Life just kind of slows down out here and kind of goes back to normal a little bit, and it just feels you get one with nature, and it just feels a little bit more normal. And that's the beauty of being out in the woods, I think.
Yeah, and you got to grow up with this, and now, as an adult, helping run the business, and as a family man, this is your environment now. I'm jealous.
Well, thanks for coming to join us. We really appreciate it. It means a lot.
You owe me one promise before we wrap this up, and it's a biggie. As you start to get more people coming here during the winter months, you have to promise you won't give up our couple best fishing spots.
No, those are all ours.
And there are only 6,000 more of them, and they're all just 10 minutes away. It's awesome. Dustin, thanks so much.
That's right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, and thanks for coming, guys. Again, it means a lot to us, and we really appreciate it. And thank you, guys.
Go wild. Hey, so there you go. Minnesota Bound, the stories behind the story. What a fun adventure here at Totem, Yellowbird, and of course, Wiley out on the lake. I'd like to thank all our sponsors who help make the podcast happen every week. The Minnesota Bound podcast is presented by Kinetico Water Treatment Systems. My family uses Kinetico. Yours should too. Also, I'd like to thank our newest partner, Hewitt Docks and Thousand Hills Lifetime Grazed Beef. Tasty beef raised the right way. Star Bank, the bank we use at Ron Shera Productions, and the Minnesota Propane Association. Hey, I'm Bill Shirk, the man about the woods. It's time to get on the road and head for home. We've got more adventures ahead. And until next week, don't forget to introduce a kid to the great outdoors. See ya.